What up, guys? This is the Stoked and Steezy podcast. My name's Theo.
I'm Charlie.
Yeah, bro. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching on the Patreon. We have a Patreon account that we upload all of the uncut, uncensored edits to these podcasts. So, just to be clear, there's a lot of things that we cannot say on YouTube at all. Yeah, so definitely go check that out if you guys want to just see more of like the realness of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like an extra 15 minutes at least, like on each video.
Yeah, and it's nice. But yeah, dude, so really, we were just talking about the whole concept of why did we get into van life and what is the reasoning that we went with the vehicles that we're having. And like, obviously I have this school bus, Charlie has a nice van,
yeah.
And really, I chose a school bus and I never even really considered any other vehicle because the first person I saw that did van life, they had a school bus and they built it out, they had tons of space, and it really was just like, all of the things that needed to fit in that little space worked perfectly. And the way I saw it was, my favorite thing is road tripping with large groups of friends. So why would I not create a vehicle and build out a vehicle that could host as many people as possible? We just went to Big Bend National Park and fit 10 people in here, 4 people in another van. So I guess I was just inspired by what I saw, and I never even really thought twice about the idea of a van.
Yeah. I remember, like, I wanted a bus, and I remember even being in high school, not even thinking of van life, like not even thinking about doing van life, but being in high school saying that I was gonna buy a short bus, and like that was gonna be like one of my first cars, just to like drive around town, soup it up and shit.
Yeah.
And then, but that I didn't do that, you know.
Yeah.
But years later, like at least like 2-3 years later, I'm starting to like think about van life and stuff, and I'm like, a bus would be dope. And one of the main reasons why I didn't get a bus was because like gas mileage. I wanted something, but that really doesn't apply with what I have now, because I did get a van and buses do get better gas mileage than my van.
What do you get, bro?
I get 7 miles to the gallon. Like on a good day, Theo gets 12 in here.
No, I can get 12 like if it's just like casual. On a really good day, if it's just me and there's no extra weight and I'm going 55, I've gotten 18 for like over 300 miles in a row.
Yeah. So that's a double mine.
Yeah.
And like I wanted a van, but like I said, I got my van from a farmer up in California, and I didn't really, it wasn't like on a Facebook market post, or I didn't like seek it out. It was more like he gave it to me kind of, anyway.
Yeah. Beggars can't be choosers, right?
But yeah, I want, exactly.
You get a free van. It's like, this is nice.
But it's pimping. Like, if anybody was gonna give you a free van, like this is like the best van like to get.
Yep. It's got a good story.
Yeah, and it runs great and stuff, and I love it. And I like you said, I haven't turned my van to like a little apartment, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people that have vans, like throw a really big bed in there and throw cabinets and a sink and like a place to cook and stuff. Like I have my van like a bunch of seats, and like if I was to buy a van, I'd get like a G20.
What's that like?
Like a Chevy G20. It's like kind of like an Astro van, but more bulky.
Okay.
And it's got like the bench. It's got like the wraparound bench in the back with the table.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you could easily build a wraparound bench in your van.
Yeah, I could. But anyway, that's what I was thinking about like before I had the van. I was like, if I get a van, I want one of these. And then yeah, so I ended up getting this one, which is similar. It's close, you know what I mean? It's it's like 1973 Dodge Maxi Wagon, Dodge Sportsman, whatever.
Right.
It's like 18 feet long, so I got the length.
Oh yeah.
And driving that makes me think I could drive the bus. Buses are bigger, you know, and
barely ever do you even have to consider the height.
Yeah.
Just the wideness of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just sway too much on the roads. Like recently, I've just been having so many people honk at me because I'll just be next to the white line, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's coming into my lane." I'm like, "No, I'm just swaying like a foot or 2 feet." Whereas if you're in a Prius and you can go 5 or 6 feet left and right and still be in the same lane.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. And like that's why I just drive like super fucking slow on my shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no point going fast. By the way, you should drive slow in yours because I threw a bunch of extra wood on top of yours figured I'd utilize that free storage space. It's not strapped down, nor is anything on top of your van.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? So speaking of on top of your van, did I tell you guys about the guy that had a bird cage on top of his minivan? And it was just like, it's just some dude driving around Austin, Texas, and his whole minivan just looked like an art project. But on top of it was this massive, like 8-foot tall bird cage, and he had 3 chickens and a pig, like a baby pig inside of it. And he had this whole concept of a mobile farm. And the idea, he was trying to get me on it. He was like, you should totally get some cattle and some goats and some sheep in your bus. I'm like, I'm not putting that. I'm not doing a mobile farm. There's no way. Yeah, like waking up with.
How do you take the land out of farm?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Dude, honestly, it feels like a mobile farm whenever you have 10 homies in here and nobody showered in 3 days.
Yeah.
I feel like just from that experience, I don't need pigs in here at all. But interesting concept. I could see it maybe on a trailer, but even just in Texas, it gets up to 112 degrees for like 30 days in a row out here.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill whatever's in it. Oh, by the way, that guy with the cage on top, I'm pretty sure PETA came and then took all of his livestock, and they just like didn't give it back. And he was like trying to argue that he should have his chickens back, and I was like, I don't know if you should really like debate this one.
They're
too
free
much.
range.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is the most caged bird that you can have. But that bird's gonna see a lot of things in his life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't leave Austin that much, did he?
Yeah, no, just different buildings and skyscrapers, really. I feel like he's flying, I imagine. Oh, man. Yeah, some van lifers, bro. First off, it takes a certain type of person to be willing to live on 4 tires and go places.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that broad range of a certain type of person is a sliding spectrum. And then on one end, it's like the bougie $120,000 Sprinter van builds,
Yeah.
and then they only use them on the weekends, and they probably also get hotel rooms just to be more comfortable. And then on the far other side, it's people who have like chickens and cattle like in their vehicle.
Yeah, I know people that just they'll buy a shitty Dodge Caravan or Honda minivan, take out the back seats, throw a mattress, and that's it, like with a bag and drive around.
Yep.
Very minimally.
It's really all you need. Like, big respect to the people that are doing that, because at least they're doing it, you know? Like, there's so many people that are sitting there and they're like, well, I'm saving up my money because I need $30,000 and I need to put this $30,000 into a brand new water system and a new sink and all this.
Yeah.
And those people, I guarantee you it, for over the course of 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to be saving their money, and at the end, something in their life is going to come up to where they never actually do it. Whereas the people who sit there and go, I'm going to put $800 into a minivan, I'm going to put $100 into wood, like one piece of 2x4 and then one piece of plywood, and then they start living in it and doing it that day, those people are going to experience way more in their life than the people slaving away at a job that kind of just talk about it, really.
Dude, and if you work all day, or not all day, but like if you save up that 30 grand and you work however long to save up that 30 grand and you buy your Sprinter van or you buy your van and you do your build, like you spend all your money on the build, you're still driving away with your build with no money.
Yeah, that's the truth. And probably in debt, because like the silliest thing is when people go and you can buy Sprinter vans and make payments on them now. So like they'll be like, oh, $130,000. They'll completely ignore that and they'll be like, oh, it's only $300 a month. That's cheaper than rent. And you're like, yeah, it is cheaper than rent, but you're paying $350 to $500 a month for the next like 15 to 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
And you're probably not gonna get it for that cheap too. Like you're probably paying like $800 a month, maybe $1,000. Like, dude, $1,000 a month for 130 months is a ridiculous amount of time.
Do you know how long I could camp and fly in $1,000?
Actually, I know exactly how long. Probably about maybe 10 and a half weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, at least fucking 2 months.
Yeah. Dude, we did not spend hardly any money in Hawaii. Like, out of all of the people who went there.
Thanks to Costco.
Yeah.
Costco sponsorship.
For real, hit us up. Dude, you know those Costco burgers are like $4.95?
Yeah.
I ate probably 8 of those.
Yeah. And then the $10 pizzas and stuff.
Dude,
Plus you can't beat the $1.50 hot dog.
That's true, bro. Man, the Costco is the reason that not only dirtbags like us can go to Hawaii and not waste all of our money, but like the locals can afford to live there. People just in general can afford to live there. If you're shopping at Whole Foods in Hawaii, you're doing something right, man. You figured out life in some way that we have not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, to even have a house out there, like, it's a fucking $1 million.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And not even like a crazy good one. Like the crazy good house out there is probably like 4. Like
that's why I want to bring my van to Hawaii, so I can like just park it on North Shore.
Yep.
And
sell it for $1 million.
Yeah. Rent it out.
Yep. I knew a guy in Hawaii the first time I went, and he had a nice truck. He did some kind of a construction job, and he was renting out a plot of land for like a couple $100 a month. And on this plot of land, he bought a trailer, and he built a 2-story tiny home. And whenever I was there, he only had probably 60% of it finished. So he had the whole thing framed, and he had walls on the whole bottom, and he had like a somewhat of a kitchen built, and he had some electrical and plumbing done. But the whole top only had half the walls, and like some of it was like just the struts and beams. But it was a cool ass place to go and hang out. Like, yeah. I bought some chocolate bars from that guy, and those were delicious. And hung out there. And I forgot about this. This same dude, we're lighting a little fire, so we rake out all the debris so it doesn't like start a wildfire, and we create this like little area to have a little campfire. And this dude grabs a gas can and starts like throwing it on the fire when it's not lit, but there's still embers from him trying to light it.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to tell him, I was like, hey dude, maybe you should put it in a cup and then put the cup in there just so it doesn't go in the gas tank. And he's like, oh dude, I do this all the time. As soon as he says that, throws the tank in there, the whole thing goes back into the tank, blows up in his face, and he has like long hair like me, pulled back, singes so many of his baby hairs all the way off, eyebrows almost gone, dude. Yeah, and I didn't know him well enough to hit him with an I told you so, but I was thinking it for sure. Man.
Told your ass.
Oh, it was another time at Sesh. We were having a little fire. Same thing, like homies are like grabbing the tank and they're trying to splash it on an already lit fire, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. And they're like, don't worry, I got this. And I'm like, all right, dude, you're gonna buy me a new tank if you mess this one up. Same thing, the flame goes all the way back into the gas tank. Then they have 5 gallons of gas on fire, and they just throw that into the fire pit. And then these same dudes go to this store on that night, buy like a pack of beer and me a new gas can, and then come back with a full can of gas, does the exact same thing all the way over again. And there's just 2 burning gas cans just like sitting there on fire. Oh man. Damn. It's like, dude, you can guide people, you can tell them like, hey man, check this out, be careful of this, but at the end of the day, like, sometimes you can't fix stupid. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. I used to travel, like I said, when I was driving around in my Honda Accord, I went through this phase of just like picking up random people to do road trips with, like hitchhikers and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I was at the garden. Oh, dude, by the way, the full moon drum circle that we went to.
Yeah.
I met somebody there who was camping in the desert with somebody that I met in Tennessee.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
Full circle.
And
that is amazing.
Dope.
All travelers know each other, I think, within like 3 or 4 points of contact.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Especially because this dude, like, this guy, I mean, he left Tennessee and then went straight to camp in the desert, you know? And like,
what a switch up, dude.
Yeah.
That is 2 very polar opposite places, but that's
dude,
cool.
Dude, he's a crazy. His name's Patches. You can follow him on Instagram called Patches Green Bus.
Patches Green Bus. I love that.
Yeah, you can find him. He doesn't have a lot, but he's a cool dude anyway. So I met them, but he's kind of cool, crazy dude. He's not that crazy, you know. But anyway, not as crazy about the dude I'm about to tell you about. But anyway,
right, let's hear it.
And this story might have to be Patreon exclusive. Well, maybe not this part, but I took this dude on like a year-long road trip, you know?
Damn, so you learned a lot about a guy in a year.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm gonna give y'all, this might be a quick, easy, breezy part. We might not have to censor it for the Patreon, but there's definitely some parts that this dude did.
Yeah.
But you never really know a guy until you take him on a trip for a year. Anyway, so I'm like in the Carolinas, and I'm working and saving up money to go back up to my friend's farm in Kentucky to like go chill there, talk to some hippies, see what they're doing for the summer, see if I want to tag along, yada yada yada.
Feeling it out.
Feeling it out. And so I'm working and I'm planning on leaving. And during that little middle zone, I fucking totaled my Honda Accord.
Ow.
And just like I was going this way, I was like turning left, and there was oncoming traffic, and the lady fucking like hit my, she just came through. I don't know whose fault it was. I don't know if I had a green arrow or I thought I had a green arrow. I don't know.
I found that when people don't say it was their fault, it means that it was your fault.
Yeah.
But keep going.
But what was funny is like this shows you like this just kind of shows you how I deal with fucking all this bureaucratic bullshit. Like, so I fucking am driving, and she fucking totals my car. I'm like, I do like a spin, and she hits me going like, I don't know how fast, but she hits me going fast,
right?
And like destroys the front of my car. And so I at least do a 360. I'm facing this, my car's facing this way on like, because I'm going this way, my car's facing this way on this side of the road.
Wow.
You know, so I'm like, you know, and something like that. My car's fucking destroyed. I kick my door open, and my leg, it's not like broken or anything, but it like hurts.
Damn.
And so I'm like limping to the sidewalk, and I like sit on the sidewalk, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, because I just don't want to stand, and like I'm like laying there, and I call my dude who's got a tow truck, and I'm like, bro, you need to come like right now and like come get my car, because like I do not want the police to tow my car.
Yeah.
Not because like there's like a bunch of shit in it, and like there is, it's like my shit, but it's not like anything bad. It's just when the police tow your car, then you gotta pay for it, and like they have a deal with the tow company, and like blah blah blah. So I was like, I got somebody that can come grab my car.
Yep.
And so he comes and grabs it, and I didn't really know this guy like well, you know what I mean? And but I knew he had a tow truck, and I knew he'd come grab it, and he wouldn't charge me a lot. And so I'm like, bro, you need to come get my car. Bam. He comes, he's here, the cops come, they fill out the scene, whatever, he grabs my car. I grab like a bag where like all the shit that I basically want, just like a bag's worth of shit.
Yeah.
And then he hauls my car away, and then I never see it again.
No.
And well, I didn't try to see it again.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like he took it, and then I was just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna fix it.
I'm done with that one.
Like yeah, exactly. Like I'm done with that one. And so I like grab my bag, and I have like my roommate, which is one of the crazy dudes I'm talking about. His name, and we're gonna use I'm gonna use a different name. We'll call him Chaz. Chaz Monty, right?
Alright.
Anyway, so he comes and picks me up, and we go back to the apartment, and I'm like, don't have a car. Anyway, so we just do the regular apartment things that we're living at. We just partying.
Yeah.
And so like I'm partying, and my grandma makes these really good chocolate bars, and so I was selling those around at the parties, because you know people just love these chocolates. Anyway,
your grandma, she is a baker to the max, bro. She knows what she's doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like that's how I was kind of sustaining myself, where I didn't really have to drive to work every day, because we were throwing parties. And so like I'm throwing parties, and I'm telling stories about like my first year on the road, and like clean things that I've been and stuff like that. And so Chaz, who's like, he's working at a gas station, making at least $1,000 a week, getting like a $1,000 bonus every week, like because he was working at a major chain, you know, and they like you know, he was working at like a Quick Trip, and they apparently they were really good at work there, you know. So he was like a manager. He's making like $1,000 a week, plus getting $1,000, and he's got like this nice fancy car that he paid for. Well, it's not fancy; it's like an Elantra, but it's like a new one that he, you know, still owes like not seven, but he still owes like 14 grand on. And
Jesus.
And so we're partying. I'm telling like all these stories, and he comes to me one day, like 2 weeks after wrecking my car, and he's like, man, I want to quit my job, and like I want to do what you're doing and travel and stuff. And I was like, dope, like I'm trying to get to the farm in Kentucky. Like I got some money, like I have some money now, I don't have to spend it on gas or car things. And like,
Yeah.
and you got a nice fancy car, so I'm ready to go whenever you are, bub.
Yeah.
And then so he like that day like put in his 2 weeks notice.
No
and
way.
then the 2 weeks went by, and then we partied straight for that 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
That 2 weeks was like some of the best partying I ever did. Like, one of our buddies works at the QT as well. He just started inviting random people that he was meeting at the QT. Like,
Oh my God.
by the way, like we've been partying all week. Like swing by the blah blah blah.
Wow.
And then so like by the end of the week, bro, like the parties were so big. Like I can be in like the apartment's only so big. You know, it's like a 3-bedroom apartment with a kitchen and a balcony. And like it's like an open kitchen, open living room, balcony.
Yeah.
If I'm in the kitchen on the countertop, I can't see out the balcony because there's like so many people.
Wow.
And like if like a short chick was like waving her, you know, was like here,
Yeah.
like you couldn't see her. Like, there was so many people. Like, you gotta shimmy through and stuff. And so he's like, I want to quit my job, blah blah blah, and we're going. And so he quits his job, and then we finally end up packing up and we go. And he still needs to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because he still has his car payment and some bills and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like I really wasn't thinking about that. You know what I mean? You do, you would've.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just needed to ride back to the hippie farm. I can handle it from there.
Yeah.
You know? And so we get there, and 2 weeks, like I'm not gonna say an amount of time, but like a couple amount of time goes by. I don't know if it was 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a long time though. He ends up like he leaves the apartment because he's like doing DoorDash and stuff like that, and like anyway, so he leaves the apartment. We're like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I got some errands to run. And he goes to Nashville, which is like an hour away, and like does door dashing, and his car just stops working.
No.
And so he calls us, and he's like, yeah guys, I think I blew a piston, like my car's not working. He's like, it just kind of stopped working. And I was like, did it make like a loud bang or a loud noise or anything? And he's like, no, I think I just blew a piston. And I was like, dude, like, you know, if you blew a piston, like, like, yeah, there'd be a loud noise, like,
right.
And anyway, so we have to drive like a whole hour and a half to get him and bring him back. And now he doesn't have this car, and he's like, fuck this car, I'm not gonna finish paying the payments, I'm gonna just cancel my bank account and tell the dealership where the car's at, and he can come pick it up, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so he does that, and then so we're on the farm, and no car now. And he has no car, like, whatever, no car. Anyway, so
Dang.
we're sitting there, and he's like, it's okay, guys. My parents live in Virginia. We're in Kentucky. He's like, my parents live in Virginia, and I'm gonna fly there. They have, his words, they have an old 2-door stick shift Honda. And like, so he flies to Virginia, and he goes and gets his car and he drives it back, or like we're on the porch before he flies out, and I'm like, listen, do you know how to drive stick?
No way.
They're telling me it's an old stick shift Honda.
Oh,
like,
no.
you're about to drive it 9 hours. Tell me you know how to drive stick. Yeah, man. I used to work at a dealership, and I used to drive the cars around the lot, and like I could do stick shift, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so he goes there and he gets the car. He makes it all the way back to Nashville.
Yeah.
Great. And then he gets back to Nashville, and instead of coming back to the farm, he starts door dashing in Nashville again. And then he calls us, and he's like, yeah, the car doesn't work, like, and we're like, well, he's like, I got into a fender bender on the way to Nashville, but the car kept driving, so I came here to make some money, like door dashing and blah blah blah.
Wow.
And then we're like, well, we're not coming to get you, tow the car back. So he tows the car, we go to sleep, and we wake up, and the car is at the farm. And we wake up to, this car was a 4-door Honda stick shift. It's like an old lady bought it, drove it around for like 2 years, and then parked it in their garage.
Right.
And so it was like mint condition. And his fender bender is him driving on the highway, and like a car suddenly stops in front of him, and he slams on the brakes. And without putting it in neutral or anything, he just slams on the brakes with the car in gear.
Yep.
And plows right into the back of the dude in front of him. Like, dude, radiator in half. Like fucking like bent, like the support in the hood, bent, transaxle fucked. Like it was fucked, dude. And he drove 5 hours.
Oh my god.
Like with a car like that. And
oh my god. And then went to DoorDash with it not working.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And yeah, it just fucked it up.
Can't fix stupid, bro.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid, exactly. And I got a million stories about this dude.
Yeah.
We ended up, I was gonna hitchhike to a rainbow gathering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that was my plan. And he is now carless, homeless, jobless, and he's like, you know, we're gonna do this adventure together. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And like I was constantly running into people that was like, I got places like you could go, but like I don't got places like he could go.
Yeah, definitely.
And so yeah, but
man, yeah,
there's a bunch of people like that.
Yeah, there's so many people that would love to piggyback and like get the easy way around.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can find somebody, good for you. But I
this dude had like, I'm not gonna say like he put in the work and like he made it like coast to coast and back.
Yeah. And
we did a lot of like, you know what I mean? We did a lot, and like you know, he's there. I know a lot of people that wouldn't do what he did.
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? But like I said, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
But like he was there putting in the work, doing it. And this dude's smart. You know what I mean? Like you put him in a school, give him a test, ace it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But like you throw him in a room full of hippies and like have him read the room. It's, you know, a whole different story.
Choose what to say and how to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a strong suit. I got you.
Dude, no, I'm about to just story dump. There's another story about him. We're on this pot farm in California. And she was like, yeah, I don't want you tripping on my property anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, just a bunch of shit like that, dude.
Man, dude, okay, I would love to hear more about that 2-week bender that you guys went on. Like, what could you say that that should definitely only be on the Patreon?
The 2-week bender.
You said it was the best party in your life.
Before I left?
Exactly.
Oh, so like, dude.
I hate when the new boyfriends don't want you talking to them, bro. Yeah. They're so strict. Well, regardless, we're at Aaron's house. We're gonna go jump this mill. The mill is like a cliff jumping spot that has like a 10, it's like a 15, a 30, and then like a 45, and then there's like a 55-foot bridge. So we're gonna go hit that, make a little YouTube video. Stay tuned for that. And thank you guys, seriously thank you guys on Patreon. You guys are the homies. You guys are the real ones. And that's pretty much the only way we $20. So hit that 420. We appreciate it. We'll add some more stuff and more benefits later, but seriously, y'all are real ones.
Oh yeah.
All right. Later.